暗い夜、家の中にみんなはいない。慣れた草と紙の匂い、積み木細工のような空。部屋の隅にはどろりとこびりついたような古い影。死に絶えた音の中で過去を忍ぶ。見ていた夢はもしもの話ばかりだった。例えば、
もし空が曇っていたのなら、もし気づくのが少し早ければ、もし彼が衰えていなければ、もし私が生まれていなかったら、それともしここであなたが目覚めなければ。
夜はますます沈んでいく。きっともう家の中には誰もいない。一人きりは怖いからみんなに会いたくて、一人きりで庭に出た。ほーっと吐く息が白くなっていく。庭はとても指先が痛くなるぐらい寒かった。凍る星、深い闇、さめざめと世界を照らす冷たい光。屋敷の庭はすごく広くて、周りは深い闇に囲まれて、森の木々は黒く大きなカーテンのようだった。まるでどこかの劇場みたい。ざーっと梢の窓が開いて、じきサーカスが始まるのかとワクワクした。遠くでいろんな音がしている。黒い木々のカーテンの奥、森の中でみんなが楽しそうに騒いでる。幕はまだ開かない。我慢できずに森の中へと入っていった。すごく暗い。森は深くて冷たい光も届かない。いろいろな音がしていろいろなものがある。けれど暗くてよくわからない。途中で誰かとすれ違ったかもよく記憶できないくらい。自分の名前を呼ばれた気がして、もっと奥へと歩いていった。木々のベールを抜けた後、森の広場にはみんな揃って待っていた。わからない。向こうから見知らぬ人がやってくる。凶器を手にしてやってくる。みんなをそうしたように僕もバラバラにしたいみたい。よくわからない。ぼんやりとその人を見る。なすすべもなく凶器を待つ。けれどいよいよという時に誰かが僕の前にやってきて、僕は子供だからよくわからない。びしゃりと温かいものが顔にかかる。赤い、トマトみたいに赤い水。本当によくわからないけれど、ただ寒くて僕は泣いてしまいそうだった。森は黒くて見たくない。地面は赤くて見たくない。だから空を見上げることにした。目に温かい火色が混ざってくる。眼球の奥に染み込んでくる。だけど全然気にならない。夜空にはただ一人きりの月がある。 見知らぬ人は今度こそ僕をバラバラにしようとやってくる。なのに僕はぼんやりといつまでも青い影を見上げている。すごく不思議。どうして今まで気がつかなかったんだろう。ああ、今夜はこんなにも。何も見えない。世界がだんだん消えていく。その中でずっときれいに輝いてる。ああ、気がつかなかった。今夜はこんなにも月がきれいだ。
Hello, everybody. This is Daaro DS, and welcome to a Let's Play that's been long in the making. Today we're playing Tsukihime, the remake. And now let us begin our descent. When I come to, I find myself in a hospital bed. The curtains are swaying, fluttering about. A cool breeze blows through the open window. I can't help but squint at the brightest colors. Where am I? What day is it? What's going on? My mind can't keep up. I go to push myself upright, but as soon as I start to put any weight on my hands, a spasm runs through my body. It knocks the wind right out of me, leaving me gasping for air like a fish out of water. This feeling must be what people mean when they say they're seeing stars. As soon as I pressed up my hands against the firm bed, a searing pain cut deep within me. Without moving from where I lie, I draw a deep breath and take stock of my body. My hands are covered in bandages. My left leg is encased with a white plaster cast. I can feel something tight across my forehead, so no doubt in my mind is wrapped in my head. No doubt my head is wrapped in gauze too. A large, thick adhesive bandage is affixed to my chest, as if to cover up anything unsightly. There's a single tube inserted in my left arm. I somehow understand that's an IV drip. I guess that's because I've been vaguely aware of my surroundings even before I fully woke up. The room had reeked of medicine, and had been much darker than this one. The countless tubes that had protruded from my bandage on my chest. The scary adult in the suit who had paid me a visit. My sister who had come to pay me a visit even though an adult told her not to. The doctor who had possessed a childlike exuberance. I remember it all, though it were a dream.
君、もしかして目が覚めてない？
I hear an unfamiliar girl's voice. I can't even muster the strength to answer her. Panicking, the girl darts out of the room to call for a doctor. Pitter patter. I get that she's in a rush, but you're not supposed to run in hospitals. Unable to lift myself up, I turn my head to look out the window. My eyeballs throb as though they're about to split in two. My brain feels like it's been scrambled with a knife. Truly an unbelievably blue sky. More than the white rays of sunlight, it's the harshness of that unblemished blue that pains my eyes. A few days later. For a while after I woke up, I couldn't move from my bed. Looking up. Looking up, I can see outside, the sky outside, loftily as ever. Curtains flutter and sway. A dry breeze strokes my cheek. The stainless, immaculate blue sky makes my head spin. Where am I? What day is it? Why am I in the hospital? It's coming back to me bit by bit. All except one thing. I continue to stare out the window, unable to shake off the feeling that I have forgotten something very important. Some tearful promise that had been made.
はじめまして、遠野四季君。回復はおめでとう。
Saying those words, an old man who I had never seen before reaches out for a handshake. His kind smile and gentle tone give me the impression of a fine adult. I'm sure he's someone who can swap between a smile and a straight face at the flick of a switch. His white clothes look austere and spotlessly clean. They suit him perfectly.
四季君、先生の言っていることがわかるかい？
いえ。僕はどうして病院にいるんですか？
覚えていないんだね。君は道を歩いているとき、自動車の交通事故に巻き込まれたんだ。胸にガラスの破片が刺さってね。とても助かるような傷じゃなかったんだよ。
Smiling, the old man in white says something very unbefitting of a doctor. It was unlikely that you would pull through. At those words, the nausea that I had been holding back began to overflow.
眠いです。眠っていいですか？
ああ、そうしなさい。今は無理をせず、体を休ませてあげないとね。
The doctor is still smiling. To be honest, I can't stand that smile anymore.
先生、一つ聞いていいですか？
何かな、四季君。
どうして体中に落書きをしているんですか？この部屋もところどころひびだらけで、今にも崩れちゃいそうです。
Although a smile vanished for a brief moment, it quickly returns as he stands up from his chair. The doctor heels click against the floor as he crosses the room and vanishes behind a curtain.
やはり脳に異常があるようだ。脳外科の芦谷先生に連絡を。それと、視神経にも損傷の疑いがあるな。午後は眼科検査に回すように。
The doctor whispered to the nurse in a cold voice, like that of an entirely different person.
変なの。みんな体に落書きしてる。
The lines run haphazardly across every surface of the hospital. I don't know what they mean, but I feel just sick just looking at
な
them.
んだろう、これ。
There are scribbles on the bed, too. When I touch one of them with my finger sinks in.
Oh.
If I had something thinner, I could go even deeper. I grab a plastic knife. That doesn't sound like a plastic knife. Off the top of the shelf and trace one of the scribbled lines. Even though I had barely put any force behind it, the knife sinks all the way to the bottom. It's fun, so I slide the knife along the line on the bed. With a heavy sound, the bed splits clean in two. Oh my god. I can spin around at the sound of the voice behind me. The nurse is standing in the doorway, her face frozen in terror.
どうやってベッドを壊したんだね、四季君。
He keeps on asking me how I broke the bed, but never why.
その線をなぞったら切れたんだよ。ねえ、どうしてこの病院はひびだらけなの？
いい加減にしないか、四季君。そんな線なんてないんだ。それで、どうやってベッドを壊したんだい？怒らないから教えてくれないかな。
だから線をなぞっただけなんだ。
わかった。この話はまた明日にしよう。
The doctor sighs. Ever since I mentioned the scribbles, his kind smile is nowhere to be seen. I'm sure that switch of his is broken. It seems like this hospital is full of all kinds of fragile things. In the end, no one believed me. If I trace the scribbled lines on something with a knife, I can cut right through it. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't need to put any force into it. I can cut it as easily as I cut paper with scissors. Whether it's the bed, a chair, the walls, or the floor. And even though I have never tried, definitely even humans, it doesn't seem like anyone else can see these scribbles. These lines are only visible to me. I think they must be seams. The result of stitching up a wound. Marks just like the one on my chest, still not healed, even after surgery, which feel as though they could shatter into pieces at the lightest touch. I mean, how else could you explain a child slicing through a wall? No kid has that kind of strength. The nurse is yelling at me again. She took one look at the jagged hole cut in the wall and then started glaring at me. She keeps screaming on and on in that shrill voice. My ears no longer work properly, so it doesn't really sound that loud to me. The never-ending noise that she makes almost sounds like a cicada that has been set on fire. It makes me uncomfortable. Everything is falling apart. Just opening my eyes, just being alive is sickening enough that I want to simply disappear. I hadn't realized until now that the world is a cobbled together patchwork. I had no idea it could be torn apart so easily. Nobody else can see it. I suppose that's why they remain so calm. They don't notice how messed up the world is. They don't know that their everyday life is full of holes. But I can see it, and it scares me so much that I can't even walk. From the moment I realized that, it was as though my ears had been frozen shut. Even if something makes a sound, that's all I hear is silence. Only the wound on my chest reverberates like a siren. But when was that? I try to recall, but I can't. No matter how much I rack my brain, I can't remember. I must have forgotten because it simply wasn't that important. My mind is like a tap that keeps dripping water, no matter how tightly twisted it's shut. Ah, so that's why. It makes sense. Of course there wouldn't be a mirror here. If there was, I would have blanked it right away. I'm sure that I'd laughed as I smashed it to pieces. In other words, It's not the world around me that's breaking down. It seems the only broken thing here is me. That's probably why. Even though 2 weeks have passed, nobody has believed me. Even though 2 weeks have passed, nobody has come to see me. Even though 2 weeks have passed, I am all alone, living in a world that's coming apart at the seams. I don't want to be in a hospital room. I don't want to be anywhere riddled with these scribbles. I decided to make my escape, to flee somewhere far away, somewhere I can be alone. I'm not the only one who's crazy. I'm not the one who's crazy, I'm sorry. This is a hospital it's the hospital that's messed up. At least that's what I try and tell myself as I run away. But the wound on my chest is so painful that I can't run for very long. When I return to my senses, I find myself in the field next to the hospital. I haven't gotten anywhere far at all. My chest hurts, and I feel so miserable that I crouch down to the ground, coughing. I can't go anywhere. I shouldn't go anywhere. Someone who can see those lines doesn't belong anywhere. Cough, cough, cough. There's nobody else here. It's the end of summer, and I'm adrift in the sea of grass. I feel like I could disappear just like this. However, before that could happen,
君、そんなところでしゃがんでると危ないわよ。
I hear a woman's voice, clear as a bell.
絵じゃないでしょ？ただでさえちっこいんだから草むらでうずくまってると見えないのよね。
The woman points at me grumpily. What she said kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm the 4th tallest in my class. I'm not exactly short.
蹴り飛ばされるって誰に？
バカね。そんなの決まってるじゃない。ここにいるのは私と君だけなんだから。私以外に誰がいるっていうの？
The woman says her arms crossed, brimming with confidence.
ここで会ったのも何かの縁だし、少し話し相手になってくれない？私は青崎青子って言うんだけど、君は？
The woman cheerily holds her hand out to me, as though we're already friends. I can't find any reason to refuse, so I tell her my name is Tonoshiki, and let her outstretched hand engulf mine. I enjoy chatting with her quite a lot. She doesn't dismiss what I say because I'm a child. She listens to me thoughtfully, as any human should. We talk about many things. I tell her about my home, about how I'm from a family with a long history, and all about the rules and proprietary that comes with it. And how strict my father is. I tell her that I have a younger sister named Akiha, who is very quiet and always follows me around, and how the mansion we live in is huge, and how I would always play with Akiha and our friends in the vast forest-like gardens, and about how the attic has been our secret hideout, and how I came to hate Shiritori, a word chain, and how I'm still expected to grow taller, and how I used to like the smell of the hospital, but now I can't stand it anymore, and how the cloudless blue sky is so beautiful, but when I look at it, I feel like crying. How it's wonderful to be alive, and how I don't really dislike the doctor who does such a bad job at faking his smile. Really, I talk about all sorts of things, as if gripped by a fever.
おっと、もうこんな時間。悪いわね、シキ。私、ちょっと用事があるから、 お話はここまでにしましょう。
She begins to leave. It makes me sad as I realize I'll be alone again.
じゃあまた明日ここで待ってるからね。君もちゃんと病室に帰ってきちんと医者の言いつけを守るんだぞ。
The woman walks away as if she'd said the most obvious thing in the world.
また明日
Tomorrow we can talk again, just like we did today. I'm happy. For the first time since I woke up from the accident, I feel human again. Going to that field in the afternoon becomes part of my daily routine. She gets upset if I call her Aoko. She doesn't seem like her own name. After much pondering, I decided to call her Sensei, because she seems like a authoritative person. Sensei listens to me seriously no matter what I say, and it solves my problems with just a few words. After the accident, I had grown uncomfortable talking to people, but thanks to her, I feel like I'm gradually returning to my normal self. Only when I'm in this field does my anxiety disappear, because I know that I can be my normal self here. I don't know who Sensei actually is. She might really be a teacher somewhere. But that's just a what if. That has nothing to do with me. I enjoy being Miss Sensei. It's that simple. That's all that matters.
ねえ先生、僕こんなことができるよ。
I want to surprise her a little, so I use the knife I brought from the hospital to cut the tree in the field. Tracing along one of the scribbled lines, I slice out a chunk from the center of the tree, as though cutting a piece of paper.
すごいでしょ。落書きが見えてるところならどこだって簡単に切れるんだよ。こんなの他の誰にもできないよね。
Sensei is shocked. Proud of my display, I looked at my next target. I thrust my knife into the horizontal line running across the base of the tree.
シキ！
Oh! Shiki runs up to me and slaps me hard across the cheek.
先生。
I said Shiki, didn't I? Sensei.
やめなさい。君は今とても軽率なことをしたわ。
Sensei looks at me with a stern gaze. Her eyes are unforgiving, a firm stare that condemns wrongdoers. What a fool I am. I've been enjoying our time together so much that I've forgotten who I am. I've forgotten that these scribbles are the things that shouldn't exist in this world, and that someone who can see them shouldn't either. Bloody regret stains my heart. I want to curl up and die at my own stupidity. That tree is the only one left standing. Had been a remnant of time, then this field was a forest. And wanting to be praised by Sensei, I destroyed it for no reason.
ごめんなさい。
The next thing I know, I'm in tears. Even though I know that crying is cowardly and unmanly, I can't hold back the regret I feel.
シキ！
I feel something soft. Sensei embraces a person like me, knife still in my hand, as if it were only natural.
謝る必要はないわ。まあ確かにシキは怒られるようなことをしたけど、それは決してあなただけが悪いってわけじゃないんだから。
悪いのは僕だけじゃない。
ええ。でもねシキ、それとは別のところで今誰かが君を叱っておかないと取り返しのつかないことになる。だから私はあなたを一人の人間として見た。 同じ立場の人間として意見して、怒って本気で叩いた。力加減を間違えていたら私もシキを殺していたかもってくらい本気で。
Those words are really scary. Not because of the possibility that she might have killed me, but of how sad it was that I'd forced her to come so close to doing so.
泣かないで、シキ。私も謝らないから。あなたはそれだけのことをしたんだって覚えていてほしいから。うん。その代わり、シキは私のことを嫌ってもいいわ。
うん。先生のこと嫌いじゃないよ。
そう。本当によかった。私が君に出会ったのはこのためだったみたい。
And so, Sensei asked me about the scribbles I can see. Her voice gentle, as though trying to wash away my regret. When I tell her, she tightens her arms around me even more.
シキ、君が見ているものは現実のものよ。決して見えてはいけないものだとしても、他の人間にとってはありえないことだとしても、その線は幻じゃない。あなただけにある現実。
そっか。じゃあやっぱりおかしいのは僕だけなんだね。
ええ、あなたはおかしい。そこはごまかしようがない。
I'd fight back the tears welling up in my eyes. Those words hurt far more than the ones the doctor had said when he didn't believe me, and I feel like I'm going to fold under their weight, I'm sorry. But it's something I already knew. From the beginning, from the moment I woke up from that incident, I had known that I was a child who no longer belonged anywhere.
謝らないで。その異常はおかしいだけで説明がつかないものじゃない。道理が通っているものなら人間は何にだって向かっていける。これ私の経験則ね。どんなに馬鹿げたデタラメがやってきても知恵と勇気で乗りこなすのが私たち人間よ。
Lesson number 1, says Sensei, looking a little embarrassed. Even if something's abnormal, that's not a problem that's not a problem in and of itself. The real question is how we deal with it.
じゃあこの落書きも説明できる？
もちろん。ものにはね、壊れやすい箇所というものがある。いつか壊れる私たちは壊れるがゆえに完全じゃない。君の目はそういったものの末路、言い換えれば未来を見てしまっているんでしょう。
未来を見てるの？
そうよ。今はそれ以上は知らなくていい。もし君がそういう流れに沿ってしまう時が来るなら、必然としてそれなりの理屈を知ることになるでしょう。
先生、何のことだかよくわからない。
ええ、分かっちゃダメ。今大事なのは一つだけ。その線は決していたずらに切ってはいけない。君の目は物の命を軽くしすぎてしまうから。
うん、先生が言うならしない。それになんだか胸が痛いんだ。ごめんね先生、もう二度とあんなことはしないから。
よかった。シキ、今の気持ちを絶対に忘れないで。そうしていれば 君は必ず幸せになれるんだから。
The arms embracing me loosen. Her cool yet warming touch pulls away.
でも先生、この落書きが見えてると不安なんだ。だってこの線を引けば切れちゃうんでしょ。なら僕の周りはいつバラバラになってもおかしくないじゃないか。
その問題は私が何とかするわ。どうやらそれが私がここに来た理由のようだし。
Sensei sighs audibly, but then starts beaming at me.
シキ、明日君にとっておきのプレゼントを。私が君を以前の生活に戻してあげる。
The next day, on the 7th day since we met, Sensei comes to the field with a large suitcase in hand.
はい、これをかけていればもう妙な落書きは見えなくなるはず。
Sensei presents me with a pair of rather plain-looking glasses.
僕、目は悪くないよ。
いいからかけなさい。度は入ってないから。
Sensei forces me to put on the glasses. As soon as I do,
ああ、すごいよ先生。落書きがちっとも見えない。
当たり前よ。わざわざ姉貴のところの魔眼殺しを奪ってまで作った青崎青子渾身の一品なんだから。粗末に扱ったらただじゃおかないからね、シキ。
大事にする。けど先生ってすごいね。あれだけ嫌だった線がみんな消えちゃって、なんだか魔法みたいだこれ。
それも当然。だって私魔法使いだもん。
smiling proudly, Sensei places her suitcase on the ground.
でもね、シキ、その線は消えたわけじゃないわ。ただ見えなくしているだけ。そのメガネを外せば線はまた見えてしま
う。見えないだけ？
あ、
ええ、そればっかりはもう直しようがないことよ。君はその目となんとか折り合いをつけて生きていくしかないの。
やだ、こんな怖い目いらない。またあの線を切っちゃったら先生との約束が守れなくなる。
ああ、もう二度と線を切らないっていうあれか。バカね、あんな約束気軽に破っていいわよ。
そうなの？だってすごくいけないことだって言ったじゃないか。
ええ、いけないことよ。けどその目は誰にも頼らない君個人の力なんだもの。だからそれを使おうとするのは君の自由。その目があることについて君以外の他の誰も君を責めることはできない。問われることがあるとしたら、あなたがその力で何をしたかということだけよ、チキ。
僕が何をするか。
Sensei looks right at me, in the eyes as if staring into my soul.
そういうこと。やっぱりいい目だ。正直言うとね、初めて君と会った時、めんどくさいのにぶつかっちゃったなーって思ったんだ。でも問題なんてなかった。君はちゃんと生きている。なら人生かけて取り返していきなさい。
I will never be able to put put into words the joy and warmth that filled my chest at that moment. She said that I belong here in this world. She affirmed my existence, stronger than anyone ever had.
四季、君は個人が保有する能力の中でもひどく得意な能力を持ってしまった。けどそれが君にあるということは何かしらの意味があるということなの。神様は何の意味もなく力を分けない。君の未来には必要になる時があるから、その直視の目があるとも言える。それは残酷なことだろうけど、だからこそ忘れないで。君はとてもまっすぐな心をしている。今の君がある限り、その目は決して間違った結果は生まないでしょう。成人になれなんてことは言わない。君は君が正しいと思う大人になればいい。いけないということを素直に受け止められて、ごめんなさいと言える君なら、10年後にはきっと素敵な男の子になってるわ。
Sensei stands up and reaches for her suitcase.
あ、でもよっぽどのことがない限りメガネは外しちゃダメだからね。特別な力は特別な力を呼ぶものだし。はい、私からの忠告その2、反則の出しどころ、勝負どころをよく考える。そうならないことを祈っているけど、どうしても自分の手には負えないと判断した時だけメガネを外してよく考えて力を行使なさい。その力自体は決して悪いものじゃない。結果をいいものにするか悪いものにするかはあくまで君の判断次第なんだから。
She picks up her suitcase. Sensei doesn't say anything more. I know that this is farewell.
無理だよ先生。僕だけじゃいいことになんてできない。本当は先生に会うまで怖くてたまらなかった。けど先生がいてくれたから僕は僕に戻れたんだ。ダメなんだ。先生がいなくちゃこんなメガネがあったってダメに決まってるじゃないか。
四季、心にもないことは言わないこと。自分自身も騙せないような嘘は聞いている方を不快にさせるわ。
Sensei knits her eyebrows together in a frown and flicks my forehead.
自分でも分かっているんでしょ。もう大丈夫だって。ならそんなつまらないことを言ってせっかく掴んだ自分を捨ててはいけないわ。それじゃあお別れね。バイ、シキ。どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
Sensei is leaving. I feel very sad, but since I'm her friend, I decide to see her off properly.
さよなら先生。
よし、上出来上出来。その息でいつまでも元気でね。最後の教訓。ピンチの時はまず落ち着いて、その後によく考えること。大丈夫。君なら一人でもちゃんとやっていけるから。
Sensei smiles happily. A gust of wind blows. The grass sways in unison. Sensei is no longer there.
バイバイ先生。
I say, realizing that I will never see her again. All that remains are the words she left behind in these strange glasses. I only knew her for 7 days, but she taught me the most important thing of all. As I stand there in a daze, tears well up in my eyes. What a fool I am. All I did was say goodbye. I never once said thank you. I'm discharged from the hospital soon after. When I leave, I'm not sent back to the Tono mansion, but to another house. Although my body is recovered, I'm still suffering from the after effects of the accident. I'm no longer wanted by the Tono family. But that's okay. Tonoshiki will do fine on his own. I will lead a new life with a new family. I'll leave the hospital room where I spent my 10th summer. The curtains are still fluttering. I squint once again at the blue sky. A light breeze heralds the end of summer. Day 1, the morning of homecoming. 1. I hear a train. And this is where we're going to leave off our first episode of Tsukihime, the remake. And thank you for watching. This is Daaro DS. And I will catch you guys next time on Tsukihime, the remake.